Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CharismaToAC and to this prequel to our new Legend of the Five Rings campaign called A Grave Wedding. This time I'm going to go over a couple of details with the listeners that are quite important, because some of you may be familiar with the Legend of the Five Rings setting. And if that is the case, you will know that it is incredibly complex. It's got a huge amount of lore attached to it, and a lot of backstory and books and God knows what else. It is not a world that you normally just deep dive into. You don't jump off the headboard and on into the deep end of the swimming pool with this world, but that is exactly what we're doing. And one of the side effects of that is we are not going to go into, dynastic politics here. The game is set in Rokugan present time, which means that the Hantei dynasty has been replaced first by a Lion dynasty, which did not last very long, and then now by a dynasty which is on its second ruler, which is based on out of Dragonlands. But this is not something that we are going to go into in any details whatsoever. It's not going to play a part in the campaign. This is far more low grade and low key. It's going to be the three families that I mentioned in a previous video: the scorpions, the cranes, and the crabs, primarily, with some supporting casts and some player characters, obviously, who are obviously always going to be main cast from the other great clans, but primarily those three. And today we are going to look into the prequel for Chris's character. So, Chris, why don't you give us a little bit of information about your bloke?
Yes, indeed. My bloke is you've mentioned Dragonlands a second ago. My character is a member of the Dragon Clan.
Yes.
Of the Kitsuki family.
So you're an investigator, basically, because that's typically what they are. That's the focus of that particular family.
Yes, all into this novel idea of actually investigating crimes in this newfangled way that the current justice system is kind of very not sure about this.
Mm-hmm.
But we're setting out
to make to present evidence. What is this nonsense?
Yes. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Yes. But no, that was the goal with the character, because it was mentioned that this campaign that Joan will be running is very much intrigue focused, or at least solving a crime that is yet to happen, at least in terms of this being a prequel. So having a character who excels in investigation obviously makes some sense.
Yes.
The character, yes, the Kitsuki family. His name is Keiji. Named after, having done the 20 questions, they're named after a. Basically, the answer to it was imperial heritage. His family, or his part of the family, can trace their lineage back to the imperial line, which obviously is quite socially something to. But yes, named for that. They are beholden to a lord of a same clan, different family. And yes, they have made a name for themselves as being quite good at their job and being a perfectionist. Their most notable feature is a quite serious facial scar that they acquired when having dealt with a particularly difficult case and exposed someone, a samurai, as being the true culprit in a crime. That samurai, to use the parlance of the game, unmasked, or dropped their mask, and sliced him across the face. Not only doing Keiji a great injury, but also obviously further cementing what a terrible cad this samurai was.
Yes, obviously this was, and Doing so was tantamount to an open admission of guilt in the eyes of everyone who saw it happen.
Exactly. It was a case of. I like to think it's basically a case of that KG did such a good job that basically he said, "I've got nothing left to lose. I'm going to try and take this bastard with me."
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. His I've built the character very much around the idea of him being very kind of Sherlock Holmes-ish, because that whole kind of very brilliant, insightful, but a little bit socially awkward or callous, I suppose. But obviously, that's not the entire character. I'm not just trying to go one for one. So that's at least.
Of course.
I want to portray them as someone who takes their work very seriously, even though that means that while they are adherent to their family's beliefs, his opinion of Bushido, or at least the whole speaking with honesty part of it, is perhaps a little bit maybe not so much, because
maybe not
sometimes
so much indeed.
sometimes a white lie can achieve more than a blunt truth.
Yes, which is obviously horrific and horrible, and no samurai should ever do that or think in that way. But
Yeah. No, you keep thinking that. I'm just gonna be over here solving crime.
Yes, exactly. Well, we start today with you located in Kyoden Togashi, which is all the way up here.
Oh yes, a long way away.
Yes, you are in Kyoden Togashi because this is where your lord has her home.
Yes.
And you have been called in to meet with her. This is probably only a couple of months after you acquired your facial scar, which means that it's still fairly fresh and it itches like all bloody hell. But it's also the situation where you really made your name. It's where you became more than just a rank and file samurai, so to say. It's where you kind of became player character material.
Yes.
And so you are called in to speak to Togashi Hotaru, as her name is, and
yes,
she is a woman in her mid-50s, and she's often inscrutable. She's extremely good at keeping her facade up. Is something which she is famous for never giving away what her emotional state is really like. But you are shown in by a servant. And she's seated by a low table, cross-legged. There are paperworks all over the place. Basically, she's clearly been working. As a ranking lord, she's as much an administrator as anything else. So clearly, there's a fair amount of paperwork that she's been working on. But she does notice you when you enter, and while she doesn't look up, she gives you sort of a almost like a come hither wave with one hand while she is signing another piece of paper with her other hand.
Oh, the joys of multitasking and ambidextrousness.
Yes.
Yeah, he will approach without a word, and when he is at the correct distance, he will bow and he will wait to be addressed.
Yes. She signs another piece of paper after. Clearly, she doesn't just sign it; she does actually read it through in a hurry first. But her reading speed is known to be fairly formidable.
Yes.
So she signs that, and then she finally looks up to you and gives you an indicative nod that you are allowed to take a seat.
Excellent. Then I will do so.
Yes. How is your face doing, KG?
It still itches, my lord, but it is of little other trouble besides.
Good. I wouldn't have it bother you too much. I have an assignment for you. one which I think you will find perhaps to your interest. Tell me, how familiar are you with the dealings between the crabs and the cranes?
Out of character, I imagine that he is at least, superficially aware that there is tension between
Yeah.
two
Oh,
clans.
oh yeah. I think
Yes.
any samurai who isn't blind, deaf, and dumb knows that the cranes and the crabs are not best friends.
Mm-hmm. Yes, their relationship is tempestuous, to be certain.
Indeed. All the more interesting, I should say, that a wedding has been arranged between two of their family members. That, of course, happens from time to time for whatever reason, but this is unusual in that the crab is a Yasuki.
You see the slightest tweak of one of his eyebrows to indicate intrigue of this.
Mm-hmm.
May I be so bold as to imagine this is an attempt to bridge the divide between the two clans in some way?
That it is, and that is why it is so interesting. It is an attempt at diplomacy at a level that you might expect from the cranes, but rarely from the crabs. They are not exactly... They tend to be somewhat more like the weaponry they tend to use. Blunt.
You suspect some additional motives?
I expect that... I can't say I expect it, but I suspect that something is going on behind the curtains here. Perhaps not between the families of the bride and the groom. I think they are probably quite innocent, you might say, in this whole thing. They are simply the tools that are being used to further an end. But there have been rumors, and these are merely rumors, so take them as such, she says. But there have been rumors that certain parts of the crab family have started courting the scorpions in order to get to the cranes. And this, of course, which, since the phoenix and the scorpions are on extremely poor terms, this would push the traditional allies of the crabs, namely the phoenix, away from that alliance. So I am uncertain whether there is some sort of internal disagreement within the crab clan on this issue. I want to know.
Then I am to travel south.
Indeed. I can't do so myself. I have pressing engagements here in Kyoto Togashi, and I am not able to attend this wedding. Fortunately, I do have a standing invitation, as I am personally an old friend of the lord of the bride. You will go as my representative. It would be a social faux pas, obviously, if I did not at least send someone in my stead to something as important as this. And I'm placing it upon your shoulders to learn more of this possible skullduggery.
I shall uncover what facts may lay buried and determine if they suit the rumors or otherwise.
Excellent. The wedding is in 3 months' time. It is quite far away, but I am certain that you will make it there in time. I will make sure, obviously, that you have a good horse to carry you, and that you are otherwise equipped for the journey. This goes without saying.
I shall make my arrangements and see about procuring some suitable attire for the occasion.
That would be wise. She nods, and it is obvious that at this point, unless you have any questions, this is it. You will no doubt be given some form of official writ, and a second piece of writ which is going to outline in more detail what your exact mission is. But now she has explained it to you. Basically, go there and find out what the fuck is going on with the crabs.
Yes. Wait, okay, I think. Do I have any questions? I suppose, just for curiosity's sake, is she a friend of the Lord of the Bride?
Yes.
I think Keiji would ask if she knows then anything regarding the bride herself, if she knows any pertinent information that may be of use to him.
She says she knows, of course, the name of the bride in this particular case, Asayuki Kakita, a member of the Kakita family, obviously.
Okay.
She is a young but promising student of the Kakita style of fighting. My guess, she said, is that because she has a reputation for being aggressive, she was seen as a potentially fortuitous mate for a crab.
Is she, aside from her father and close family, is she popular or respected within her family and clan?
She is a young samurai who hasn't had much chance to make a mark for herself just yet. But she is well enough respected. She is the winner of one tournament that has been held in Yaijutsu fighting, so she's not without skill. But that is, she says, unfortunately, the extent of knowledge that I have of her. If you can learn more about about her, obviously that may help you with an angle as to what the crabs are doing or thinking.
Indeed. I think with that question answered by her, he will again bow and take his leave.
Of course.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
No, carry on. Sorry,
No worries. So over the next couple of days, arrangements are made. Basically, it's a long trip, so it's not something where you just leave her room and go directly down to the horse and get in the saddle and get going. It's
no, exactly. There's a few, as you say, there's a few days worth of actually preparing. Transportation supplies.
Exactly, and there's some necessary. There are some necessary arrangements that need to be made with regards to making you a passport, because you're going through lion lands to get there, and
Very true.
So you get you get all this taken care of, and you do in fact get your official paperworks with her seal and everything, and it's in lacquered scroll cases for protection, and everything is in order basically.
Excellent.
But you do also get this official outline of what you're meant to do, which is whether you wish to bring that or leave it behind so nobody can find it and read it is entirely up to you. You might want to bring it to remind yourself. But it is basically a mission to go there and learn about this possible rift within the Crab Clan. Because if there are two factions, one which supports an alliance with the Scorpions and one which supports an attempt at making peace with the Cranes. She certainly wants to know that it exists, and she wants to know who represents which side in this, basically.
Okay. I'll put it like this. I've seen enough media and played enough video games where taking the damning scroll with you to the event tends to not end well. So he will as a character he would probably leave it behind. If it's something that you end up writing a handout for, I would obviously keep hold of that. But
no worries.
he will basically he'll commit the instructions to memory.
Yes, that makes sense.
And then he will basically hide the instructions somewhere about his living quarters up in Dragonlands.
Yes. Well, then, after that has been taken care of, you set out with a small retinue of Ashigaru soldiers, because obviously you are traveling a fair distance, so she's sending a few soldiers with you to keep you safe on the road as well.
Okay.
You never know, there might be banditry along the way, that sort of thing.
Yep, Rokugan is, as you pointed out, a massive landmass. So yes,
it is very significant, and not every road and back road is safe.
No, so the chances of banditry are high enough that yes, having some Ashigaru to assist with that would be
exactly
expected and a relief.
Exactly. And then you set off, I take it.
Yes, he gets his various equipment. He has the ceremonial clothes tucked away. He'll be traveling in traveling clothes for the majority of it, and he keeps his he'll keep his weapons about him just in case. But yes, he'll set off. He'll set off with all due haste once all preparations are in order.
All right. And the journey is as tedious as that sort of thing tends to be. It takes a good while for you to get out of Dragonlance, because Kyoto Togashi is located in the mountains. And the easiest way for you to get out is actually to travel through the mountains, through Suigeki Toshi and Shirokitsuki down here, and only then will you actually get out of mountainous lands and into flatlands, and that is not an easy road to go, nor does it go particularly quickly. So you manage. Over the course of the next month, you make your way into Lionlands.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up, on the way, you end up here.
Have a look. Oh, Bishamon is it Seido?
Seido, yes.
Yes.
It's a shrine.
Yes, a shrine to the war god.
Yes, exactly. And when you get there, obviously this being a war god shrine and a very major one, and it is in Lionlands of all things, it is a fairly busy place.
Yes.
The lions are extremely warlike. They are the most militaristic of all the clans, and that is saying something when you have someone like the crabs to contend with for that honor. And they are so you see some pretty impressive sights as you get there. The basically one of the things that you realize is that the discipline of the lion soldiers is just it can't be matched. And this is how the lions normally win their wars, is they are just stupidly disciplined on the field of battle. When it comes to raw courage, there's probably no one who can match the crabs because of where they come from and what they face on the wall every day. But the lions are the better military.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. No. The crabs are better warriors. The lions are better soldiers.
Yes. That is a very apt way of putting it. And as you get there, it would normally just be a stopover on the on the road.
Yes.
But you are approached during the evening while you are there. You are approached by someone. More specifically, this fellow.
Shosuro Chikao.
Yes. And to even have a scorpion inside Lionlands is unusual. They are truly not on the best of terms. Those two clans do not like each other.
No. I mean,
and
the most... Yeah.
Yeah, they have fought long and hard over the centuries, and the only reason basically the lions can't wipe out the scorpions without making themselves vulnerable to attacks from others, and including the dragons, because that would result in a two-front war. The dragons don't want the scorpions wiped out. And the scorpions, on the other hand, have probably assassinated more lions than any other clan ever.
Yes. The sort of the classic hero villain samurai ninja dynamic.
Yes, this is very, very much so.
Because again, the scorpions, the motto of the scorpions is about being the bad guys for other people. So.
Yes, I will be your villain, Hante. Is like the 6 words that defined the scorpions. All right, so I'm approached by this man, and you can tell immediately that he is a scorpion because he's wearing a mask. Which scorpions always do. It's a tradition in their family that they wear a mask, not necessarily one that covers the entire face. As you can see in this guy's case, it's like a half mask.
Yes.
And he is in fact carrying a musical instrument when he approaches you, as if he has just been playing to someone, or as if he is expecting that it might be, a pleasant evening with some light entertainment. You never know. But he knocks lightly on the door to the room that you have been assigned in one of the myriad guest houses around this shrine. And of course he waits for your reaction.
He wasn't expecting someone, so his hand will, as I imagine he's knelt upon a cushion and considering things. He'll have his he probably won't have his Jun nearby, because obviously that's a rather more unwieldy weapon, but he might have his wakizashi close to hand, and he basically grasps the hilt still sheathed as he then looks at the door and just says, "Come."
And the door opens, and this man bows to you, and in a pleasant tone of voice says, "Peace, Honorable Kitsuki. I am not here as an enemy."
Forgive me if I find that difficult to believe, considering your family's reputation, Scorpion, but still, be welcome.
He gives you a slight smile, a very, very, there's only you and him in the room, so he doesn't mind showing that much. And it's sort of an amused little smile that you should point that out to him, and he says, "Ah, yes, my family's reputation will ever precede me. I am aware of this, but I speak the truth nonetheless. I am not here as an enemy. Rather, I am here because I believe we have a commonality in destinations."
Is that so?
That is in fact so. I am informed that you have travelled all the way from Dragonlands, and that you are on the way to a wedding. As am I.
Hmm. And what relation have you to those involved with this wedding, if I might ask?
My lord and the lord of the groom are formerly they're former rivals. Not so anymore. They have mended their relationships, and an invitation was extended as a courtesy.
See. And I imagine your lord had important business, but nonetheless.
Oh, he will be there as well. I am part of his retinue.
Ah, I see. So, with a shared destination then in being the case, how might I assist you with my company?
Oh, I am interested in. He thinks for a moment and then he says, "Your family's reputation precedes you as well. And I am duly concerned for the safety of my lord, obviously. Is any underhandedness expected since Akitsuki is going to be present?"
Hmm. What do I do? Do I speak honestly, or do I
Or do you fib?
or do I tell a little white lie? Because I have no compunction about telling a little white lie. Um, I think we'll try. Hmm. Is there any way I can read this guy before
Oh
I give my
yes,
response?
oh yes, there certainly is. Let us see what we will use. That is a skill, obviously. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say it is skullduggery, since you are trying to read him. And I would say it is a void plus skullduggery. You're trying to ascertain what his intentions are. That's kind of nebulous. So void and
Oh, it's skullduggery. Yeah,
void
okay.
and skullduggery.
See if this works.
Let us have a look. See.
I have no idea how these dice read, so tell me if that's bad or
That
good.
is actually fairly good because it's only a one. You only need one success. I should have told you this in advance. The target
That's
number
fine.
is one,
Okay.
and these dice will read as the. Of course, there are two completely blank dice. Those can just be ignored.
Discarded. Yes.
Yes, but you can keep up to two of these dice,
Okay.
and because you have two in your void ring, so you can keep up
Yes.
to two. That's how it works. The
Lovely.
chrysanthemum symbol that you have on both dice is opportunity.
Ooh.
And opportunity is typically used in a roll like this, unless you have something specific that you can use it for, that one of your advantages or disadvantages tells you that you can use advantage for this specifically. In a situation like this, I will probably use it to give you a little more information. I will
Okay.
dive a little deeper into the role playing with if you choose to keep those. The strife,
Okay.
which is the little flame-like symbol, which is on the black die as well,
Yes. Yeah.
is obviously if your strife increases to your up to all the way up to what your composure stat is, then you unmask. So
Okay.
choosing to go with a if let's say you choose to keep this die with those two on it, you would maybe have a very slight tell of something that because you reveal a tiny amount of a little hint of emotion or something as you speak to him. And then
Yes.
the last one that you have on the white die, you have another opportunity there, of course, and you have a success.
Yes. Oh, yes. The success is the circle.
Yes. You only need one success, so you can choose to just keep that one die of with the success and the opportunity. But if you want both opportunities, you can keep both of them. Then you'll just take a strife as well.
I like that idea. I like the idea of getting a bit more information. So I'll up my strife by 1.
Mm-hmm.
And basically his tell is that he will basically, as he's looking this over and thinking about what he's saying, he'll reach up and rub the back of his neck.
Yes.
Gently for a second before putting it down. And then, okay, so with that in mind, what do I actually learn?
You learn that the man you're sitting in front of, for one thing, you see absolutely no hint of dishonesty on him, which is maybe unusual with a scorpion, but he is actually speaking the truth. He is there because he is concerned for his lord's safety. And he is telling you as much as he knows. He's not keeping anything hidden from you.
Okay.
It's not like he's got he doesn't have information of something nefarious about to happen and he's trying to gauge you because of maybe you're part of it. He doesn't know. He's trying to find out. So he is basically what you're seeing here is he is being a good and dutiful servant to his master.
I see. Well, far be it from me to prevent him from completing that. Then it's because although my being a good and dutiful servant to my master is simply to get to the bottom of if there's anything more about this investigation, whether or not I share any information is neither here nor there.
Exactly.
So I think yes, he will. He'll look him up and down and say, "It's good to meet someone so dutiful to their master. I can tell you this. Aside from the obvious seeming of this event that members of the Crab and the Crane should come together in a very overt attempt to mend old grudges, there is allegedly some disunity within the Crab clan. There are some who feel that there are some within the Crab clan who would desire greater ties to your clan, and who may feel that a unity between Crab and Crane could damage that opportunity.
This is certainly interesting and important information, he says, quite honestly. As this means that if there is in fact such disagreements within the clan of the groom, we as servants of our masters must obviously be more vigilant. There may be underhanded tactics afoot at the wedding itself.
That is part of my travelling, not just as a representative of my lord, which is an honour in and of itself, but if there is more to this marriage than what is shown and can be observed by those in attendance, then I am to discover it for the benefit of my lord.
He nods and says, should I come across any information that I find interesting, which may be of use to yourself, I shall keep this in mind.
You have my gratitude. Forgive me, I'm not sure I do not know you by your name, by your face.
My manners. He actually looks slightly shocked at himself that he forgot, and introduces himself as Shosuro Chikao.
And then Keiji introduces himself as Kitsuki Keiji, and again, they don't shake hands. Handshaking is a very Western thing, but he shows him courtesy for agreeing to do this. So this exchange of information going on.
He smiles again slightly and suggests, well, seeing as we have made such a good start of things, he says, perhaps we should join our cups for sake. The night is still young.
That would be acceptable.
He turns his head and calls out over his shoulder, and clearly some a servant dashes off, and basically the evening progresses, and you share some sake, and he plays a bit of music, and you tell some stories and so on. Just basic socializing for a little while, and then eventually he leaves again and heads back off.
Yes.
But he has been pleasant company.
That's good. And I think that I don't think Keiji will have completely let his guard down around him.
No,
I
of
think
course.
he would still be just, observing him, but he is, glad to have a nice evening with drink and music and
Yes.
pleasant company, even if
Even though you're still
observant. Yes, my opinion of the clan hasn't changed. My opinion of him might have changed. That's the thing.
Yes, that is the thing. That the individual may be more worthy than the clan as a whole.
Indeed.
And
yes. I was tempted when he said, "I can." Yes, my reputation precedes me. It does not seem I can hide who and what I am. It's like, well, you could start by taking off your mask. But yes. but then I suppose you could no more take off your mask than I could take off my scar. But anyway, yes, that's he'll go to bed comfortable and reflecting on that. I think.
And you continue your journey after this meeting with Chikao, and you make it all the way down to Crane Lands and travel. I mean, obviously, traveling through Crane Lands when you come from the direction you come from means quite a long journey.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you are. What is it called? You are you're coming the long way down, so to say, instead of across. This is a bit like traveling across Chile.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's it's going to take a long time, but
yes. But you do get the opportunity when you get to Kyodandoji, which is out here. You do get the opportunity to make a choice. You can either get on board a ship and sail all the way down to Murasukashi Toshi, which is down here, or you can continue via the land route if you prefer, but it's up to you. The sea route will be quicker. You will be there sooner that way.
Yes. Plus, I think it might be a mercy not only to Keiji but also to his attendants, because they've been traveling pretty much non-stop as well, and they could probably stand, even if they might get a bit seasick. They could probably stand to rest their legs a bit.
I think that goes without saying. Yes.
So yes, I think for his sake and for the sake of the Ashigaru who are traveling with him, we'll take a ship.
You'll take a ship, and that is a good decision, as it turns out. It's a much easier journey that way, and you get to your destination without any ill events befalling you.
Yay!
Which is not to say that would have been the case had you gone overland. But you do in fact get there in one piece, and with your retainers properly rested and feeling more more rested and more able to continue on than if they'd had to walk through the entire mountain range that makes up a significant part of the Crane's coastlands. You have a good fair while to go yet, but you do make it to about here, so not that far outside. You have to it's basically just after you've had to split off the main road and go to the slightly smaller road heading south.
Okay.
You come across a group of peasants in the road, and they have a problem. Basically, they have been transporting rice to a market,
Yes.
and one of the wheels of their wagon has fallen off. They are blocking the road, which is not really a problem for you. You can just circumvent them and go around them if you want to. But they do beseech you for help, because you have a couple of strong Ashigaru with you who can help them hold up the wagon while they try to make repairs.
Are we in a fairly open area?
Yeah, you are.
Or...
You are.
Okay, so there's no. Yeah, I'm just thinking.
It would be a very poorly chosen place for an ambush if that was what they were trying to do.
Yes, I was about to say. In that case, sure. He'll look over the plot again, because technically he is still samurai, even if he is more,
That's also why they're not asking you for help; they're asking your Ashigaru for help.
Exactly. So yes, I think he'll spare a couple and keep. He'll spare as many as if he feels is reasonable, and keep the rest to guard him.
Of course. You have 4 men with you, and 2 of them can help hold up the cart, so it's not a problem.
So basically, he just basically
yes,
wordlessly points to 2 of them and indicates help them.
Yes, they do so. They go and help, and you can tell from it's clearly a family. These peasants. It's clearly a family who've been heading to market with rice, and there's a woman there with an infant. And she looks incredibly relieved that this happened. She's clearly been worrying herself sick about what to do. There are a couple of children who are very impressed by they have seen Crane Samurai before, clearly, because of course they have. But Crane Samurai have this very distinct look to them with their white hair and fine features and so on. You are very different.
Yes, black hair, impressive scar.
Impressive scar. Your armor is in a different style than what they would, normally see around Crane Lands. So you're clearly super interesting to these children. But they their father is very he quite sternly tells them to not bother you, basically. And they don't, but they do keep an eye on you, because oh my goodness, look at him, and he's got. They seem fascinated by the fact that you are not wearing a katana, but a different kind of sword.
Yes.
Which is also more unusual in Crane Lands, where the traditional daisho is preeminent.
Yes.
But the wagon gets repaired, and the peasant comes over and prostrates himself before you, because that is the proper thing to do, and thanks you sincerely for your kindness and your help, and he asks if he may know the name of the honorable samurai who so graciously helped his family.
Again, as the peasants, I'm not expecting any duplicity from them necessarily. Yes, I will. I will actually. Basically, I will look over him, and I will say yes. My name is Kitsuki Keiji. I'm from the far northern Dragonlands.
You are an honorable samurai, and I am deeply, deeply grateful. You have saved my family from losing our harvest, he says, and I will never forget it. I will make sure to tell your name to others in the best of terms. You may up your honor by 1.
Ooh, that's nice. That's fine. Where is my honor? Ah, there it is. Perfect.
For having done a small but good deed to help someone who clearly needed it. This is also part of of a samurai's, not necessarily his duties, but if he chooses to be the good and the kind lord, then it'll usually not. It won't come back to bite him. Let's put it that way.
Yes, it's a case of I'll say this again. He's insightful. He's not.
Yes.
He's not. I don't see him as being ignorant of the fact. Okay, peasants are peasants, and he very much understands there is a caste system in Rokugan. That's fine. That's how things should be. But the lot of the peasants is a hard one. He doesn't need to make it any worse by refusing to aid them when they need it.
Which is an enlightened attitude to take for a samurai, and
Yes.
very positive.
Yes, and again, it's just a case of yep, they've got again
Yes.
they it's their place, but at the same time, what they're doing is, if it weren't for the fact that they were in their place doing what they do, then he couldn't be a samurai and lord it up over them anyway. So
Exactly.
So
you gain
good.
a small amount of honor,
That's nice.
and eventually, lo and behold, you actually make it to your destination. You get to you get to the wedding in time, and you get there a little bit early because you took the boat instead of going overland. So you have a little bit of time beforehand to familiarize yourself with the local area, and you basically, you are the first guest to arrive. So you get to see all the other guests as they arrive, and form an opinion of them, and they are varied.
Which in itself is quite noteworthy for
Absolutely,
Keiji.
yes. They are varied, and of course, Shosuro Chikao does arrive with his lord a couple of days later, but they are also reasonably early, but not as early as you.
No.
But the majority, obviously, of guests are either crabs or cranes.
That's yes, again, understandable. I make note of those who are. I make something of a note of the people who aren't crabs or cranes, but I specifically, when I'm looking through the crabs and cranes, trying to pick out any notable instances in like mood and demeanor of the people coming by, about people who are clearly happy to be there, people who are apprehensive, people who are bored.
Yes.
Got to get a read on the on potential factionalism within the different clans.
Yes, the one person that really stands out to you. There is, or there may be one person, because you will need to make me a roll for this.
I would say yes. The same as before?
Let me see. This... no, this time I think we'll go with water and skullduggery.
Okay.
No, actually, no, sorry. We'll go with water and courtesy, which I know gives you a pretty bad roll, but it's because this isn't trying to read someone you're in a direct conversation with.
No, exactly. This is about That's fine. Well, let's see if we can manage it.
Ooh,
we
nice.
Can. Very nice. I think we'll keep.
That is actually a good roll. That's a success, and yeah, you can keep both of them.
Yes, we'll keep both as a success and opportunity.
Success and an opportunity, indeed. And that means that you pick up on two people's mood in particular, and they're both cranes.
Interesting.
The first is this fellow.
Giichi?
Yes, Giichi. And he is, when he arrives, he is invested in this. Very. You can tell that to him this is important. And he has, whether he has something riding on this going off without a hitch or not, you can't tell because you don't really know. But it's pretty clear that he is not a man who is just there because he got an invitation. This is personal to him.
Interesting.
And and he arrives with a reasonably large retinue. One of the people that come along with him in that retinue is the other crane, namely this man.
Daidoji Kaito.
Kaito.
Yes.
And he is... he, on the other hand, does not want to be there.
Hmm.
And he tries to hide this fact.
Hmm. Yes.
And it's only because you got opportunity that you notice that there are little hints here and there that he's a little bit, whereas all the other guests are polite and they treat the servants and so on reasonably well. He is brusque with them and barks commands at them and so on, like he's annoyed.
I see. Yeah. Let's see if I can make a note of this somewhere on my character sheet. Give me a second. I know there's a place I can put notes down in this.
Somewhere there is, yes.
Yeah, somewhere in this labyrinthine character sheet system that they've created, I will find what I'm looking for.
Yes, notes.
Notes. There we go. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. So let's see. Dojigichi. Heavily invested in wedding going well. Personal reasons, question mark. And Daidoji Kaito. Crane. Hold on. It's vanished. That's really irritating. Does not want to be at wedding. Is brusque to servant. Grievance with. Actually, no. Let's put it as possible scorpion backer question mark. Okay, that's what I read on those two. Excellent.
Yes.
And yes, this is very interesting because already this is already potentially evidence of there being something going on behind the scenes. So it's certainly worth looking into further.
And we get to the actual wedding next. And the wedding is a 3-day affair where the final guests arrive on day 1, and there are some preliminary minor rituals that take place and so on. You get to see both the bride and the groom for the first time. They actually look like they like each other, which is which is always a positive, obviously. They're both good-looking people. They are no doubt going to produce some very handsome children.
Yes.
And then on the second day is the wedding itself. And as was described in the previous little prequel, you get to a point pretty early on where the incense is being lit in the entire room where you're sitting. So it's quite pungent with incense. And then the guests who are in this room are asked to raise a cup of sake for as part of a ritual. And sake is brought for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And as people drink, the next thing you realize is that you're waking up with the sound of this horrific, inhuman laughter ringing in your ears. And there are dead people everywhere around you.
Hmm.
People bleeding from the corners of their mouths and out of their noses, and so and it. You can give me give me a third roll. I'm asking for a lot of rolls from you.
Well, that's fine. It's good to get used to this as a new
Yes,
player.
yes,
So.
I think it is. I think it is. And in this case, you are waking up from this. You're trying to find out what is going on. We will call it an earth ring roll,
Yep.
and we'll combine it with skullduggery. No,
Earth
actually, we'll
Skullduggery.
combine it with medicine. We'll combine it
Earth
with medicine.
medicine. Earth
Earth and
medicine.
medicine.
Okay. Ooh, hello. That's 2 strife.
Wow!
If I.
If you want to take them both, but you could also take the explosive success and the normal success. That would give you 2 successes. That gives you a
Yes.
bonus success.
I think in this instance, yes, that works for me. Explosive success works for me. And again, waking up surrounded by dead people bleeding is going to cause some strife. It's going to
Oh
unsettle
hell
you. So
yes, it is. So you take another strife, but you can roll you can roll an extra ring die.
Okay.
Because you got an explosive success, so you can keep rolling that as long as you keep rolling explosive successes.
Okay, so I just literally roll the same thing again.
No, just there's if you look over your character sheet, there is a little square where it says roll ring dice.
Let's see. I don't see
It's
that. Can you? Oh, yes, there it is. There it is. My apologies.
No worries.
How many? One.
Oh,
another success.
You get another success. So
that is 3 successes.
3 successes. This is a very you do very well.
My character is very in character for this prologue. Hope it stays that way.
Let's hope it stays that way. Yes. You wake up, and you not only do you immediately realize that the people around you have been poisoned.
Yes.
But you can taste the poison in your own mouth.
Yes. Immediately he grasps for his Yeah, he sort of goes for his. He feels, that grasping for your throat thing you do when you realise. But obviously, the point is that it's thought to then hold on. I can taste the poison. Why am I alive? Why aren't I among these corpses?
Exactly. For what caused me to survive this? But you are able to identify the poison used based on because 3 successes. So you actually identify the poison used as something called blue peace.
Blue peace, including me, but why am I and these others? Because eventually I will notice that there are a couple of other people who are still alive, not also dead? Question mark. And blue peace, obviously, it kills people and leaves bleeding around the eyes and the mouth and nose. So
yes,
I know that much.
It does, and it does that because basically it makes all the little blood vessels in your throat and in your neck burst when you drink. So you bleed out from the inside.
Oh, delightful.
It's a horrible death. But the thing that you also note is blue peace shouldn't make you pass out. It should just make you, clutch at your throat while you bleed. And from the looks of many of the people that are sitting or lying around here, they have been clawing at their throats. You can see scratch marks. But you can still hear this damnable laughter.
And I think at that point, I will basically look around to see if I can find the source and maybe catch the other few survivors and be like, oh, that's weird.
There are a few other survivors, including the bride. And but you can't see, you realize that whoever is laughing is incorporeal and invisible. You can't see them.
Ooh, well, I may not be the most spiritual dragon, but that still gets my dragon intrigue tinkling a little bit.
Oh yes. And I think that we shall end it there.
A good place to end. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Thank you very much.
obviously, yes, mostly because of your world building and working with you and creating this character. I will admit, rolling so well with the dice obviously helps that. I'm not going to deny that.
It does.
But no, this is a really fun introduction to the campaign for me, and I look forward to working with the other players to find out just what the hell happened.
Yes, but you actually you have an advantage because you rolled so well on that final roll. You actually bring some concrete information to the table right from the get-go.
Yes, we know the method. Now we need to
know the method. Yes.
Yes. Now I just need to find the motive. As I just of course, and that means that my new friend is probably dead as well. What a shame.
Well, there is the possibility of that. We'll see. But you get an XP for this.
Excellent. I will find where to note that down. Somewhere. It's going to take some time to get used to this. Oh, there it is. XP. Total XP. 1. Yes. Okay, excellent. I'll note that down.
All right. And then, on that note, I will say to the listening audience, thank you for listening in, and we hope that you will continue to join us for more of this campaign called A Grave Wedding. And as I said in the first introduction video here, then, considering the events playing out, it should be obvious why it is called that. We shall see you all around, and from us here at CharismaToAC, thank you for listening in, and bye for now.
Bye.